Hey everybody, welcome to the CharlieB Podcast. I'm your host, CharlieB. Do you ever feel like you have so much going on and you just need to breathe? Being a wife and mother can be so overwhelming, and sometimes you just need a minute. Take that minute with me, CharlieB. In this space, we'll talk about marriage, motherhood, and just being a woman. How do we manage to keep it together in the midst of everything that's going on? We're women, and that's just what we do. So listen, this is that pull up to the house and sit in your car for a minute moment. We all need those. You didn't have to, but I'm so glad you decided to spend that moment with me on the CharlieB Podcast. Let's jump right in. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the CharlieB Podcast. My name is Charlene, better known as CharlieB, and I am so glad that you took out the time to join me. Tonight, I have another special guest, y'all. Listen, I'm important because you have no idea who you're about to meet, but I've known her for very long. Don't make that face, Mrs. Wilson. This is the amazing, the wonderful, the well-accomplished Miss Stacy Wilson. How honored I am to have you as my special guest tonight. Please introduce yourself. Take it away, Mrs. Wilson.
Hello, my name is Stacy Wilson. I am a guidance counselor at Burlington City High School, and I am also the co-founder of Benjamin Banneker Preparatory Charter School located in Willingboro, New Jersey. I am excited to be here. I'm honored to be here that you wanted me to come on.
Thank
hopefully
you.
I'll be able to answer some questions and help any way I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. Oh my gosh. Mrs. Wilson, it's wonderful that you don't even know how wonderful you are. What a great person you are. I met you when Giovanna was in high school, and you were her guidance counselor.
Yes.
And my sister Tony told me about you because you were Talisa's guidance counselor in City High. And City High needs a Mrs. Wilson. Every school needs a Stacy Wilson. So before we get to Benjamin Banneker, because I talked about you in the Why My Child episode with Audrey. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it, but she spoke very highly of you and your husband. Shout out to Richard Wilson, Mr. Wilson. Yay, I love him. And at the risk of sounding totally inappropriate, Mrs. Wilson, your husband smells like $1,000,000. Me and Audrey used to always talk about how good Mr. Wilson smells, okay?
I will tell him that. He'll get a kick out of that.
So, she said, she's the co-founder of Benjamin Banneker, where my baby girl went and found her. She just fell in love with this class, with the students, with the staff. Everything was wonderful there. This series is called Through the Eyes of the Educator. And I thought it was so important to bring someone like yourself on, Miss Wilson, because it's important for parents and students and just the people to know what educators go through day to day and how, see, we get to drop our kids off and leave them with you, and then you got to figure out what you're going to do with them, and then you hope that we act right when we show up. You hope that you can call us and we're going to be on your side, but that's your problem, because you know what? That's what you get paid for, okay, lady? So I can't imagine what y'all go through. And just for the record, I want to say thank you. These days, we need to make sure we take out the time to stop an educator and say thank you for dealing with mine. Okay?
I appreciate that.
So, how did you get started in education?
So I actually went to college and I majored in communications. So I wanted to originally be a news commentator.
Wow.
And after going to college and finding out how competitive the field was, I was working at an after-school program while in college and fell in love with kids. So I shifted from, I ended up getting my bachelor's in communications and went back to school to teach. So
Nice.
I ended up teaching and loved that, but then wanted to get out the classroom and went into guidance.
Where were you teaching?
I taught in Trenton. I taught at one of the middle schools in Trenton, and then I also taught at a charter school in Trenton and for juvenile justice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool, Miss. And you said it was grade school?
It was middle school, so it was 6, 7, and 8 that I taught.
Okay.
In those two schools, in the charter school and in Trenton. And then when I went to the Juvenile Justice Commission, basically I worked with high schoolers.
Nice. Wow. Which do you say is the easiest, the little ones or the older ones?
I don't know that either are easier.
Uh-huh.
I prefer high school, though.
You prefer high school.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because that's when everybody, I think, got the most attitude.
Yes, that is. That is. I just find with the younger ones, of course, they're still a little more confused than high school.
Yeah.
So I like the high school population.
Right. You know what? I can see that. And what brought you to be a counselor then?
So I taught for a while, but I really felt like I could be a better service, I guess, if I were to move into counseling. I always had a passion for helping people and still do.
Right.
So I kind of fell in love with the field of counseling. So I went back to school and got my degree to be a school counselor.
I love that, Miss Wilson. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm not even sure where to begin with where you've been. Like, okay, so first let me say this. How long have you been teaching? How long? Like 20 years?
Yes, 20 plus years.
Okay. So from where you started to where you are today and what you've seen, let's start here. What's the toughest part you think for the students, and then what can you say to a parent?
So for students, I think the toughest part is the many vices that they have that are vying for their attention.
Right.
So I think for them, they have, back in the day, we didn't have cell phones,
right,
internet, and social media. So we didn't have all of those things vying for our attention. So we then could, for the most part, focus on school.
Yeah.
And focus on education. So now, we have all of these things, trying to get our kids' attention, and they, of course, are, tuned into those
they are.
So it's a constant battle trying to get them to realize that that's not the reality.
Right.
And, you sitting here in the classroom is the reality, and we need you to focus.
Right.
So that you can, be a productive citizen eventually once you come to school. So I think that's hard for the students. Then I think it's very hard for parents. I mean, I can't imagine being a parent nowadays trying to, make sure my child is safe. I mean, we have so many things going on in the world today. But one, making sure my child is safe, and then helping them to focus on, what's important.
Right. So for you as a counselor, how hard is it? I know, okay, I'm a mom of 4, right? My mama was a mom of 7. You're a counselor of hundreds. How do you keep up? Like, I just need to understand, how do you deal with student by student and so successfully? Miss Wilson, how do y'all do it?
I think it's passion. I really think
it has to be.
It's passion and genuine love and concern. That's the only way I can do it. So it's just really, connecting, checking in with them, making sure they're okay, letting them know I'm there as a resource if they need me. Just something as simple as, when you see them walking down the hall, hey, how you doing? Good morning.
Right.
A lot of times after being around children, as you well know, you can tell if something's wrong.
Right.
So, if I see them and they're looking down, I'm like, what's going on? You want to talk? And sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. But just really, I guess, making sure that they know I'm there and developing a relationship. That's the key.
Right.
Making sure you have a relationship with them.
And I find that very interesting, because when I was in high school, I don't even remember who my counselor was. I did not have a relationship with my counselor. I don't remember my counselor walking halls. I don't know what they were doing. I would visit every now and then. I don't even know if I actually visited the the guidance counseling office. Like, did I?
Right.
I don't think so. I really wish.
I don't remember doing that either. Like,
right.
I don't remember having a relationship. So that might be the reason why I'm so passionate about it, because it was a void in my life in high school. So I want to make sure that that people know that I'm
right.
Realize that I'm a resource. I'm here to help you. So.
And that's interesting because my dad was my counselor. I would go to my dad if I had a problem in school. And so when I got Giovanna, got her, meaning she was my oldest. Giovanna came into my life when my husband and I got married. She's a bonus child. Her and her brother George Jr., who you never met because he went to BCIT.
Okay.
So Giovanna was my first high school child experience, if you would.
Okay.
Because Clarence was a year behind her. So when I met her, she was going into high school.
Okay.
So you were my first mom dealing with a counselor.
Right.
And when I met you, I was like, oh, we gonna be good.
I'm glad.
You were sweet, but you were very zero tolerance. And Giovanna, she was a very smart girl, but she has some struggles, but not because she wasn't smart, because she came from a charter school in Camden. But she would always come home and say, I was talking to my counselor today, and I was like, well, what was y'all talking about now? And it didn't have to be scholastic. It was just like, no, I was just talking to Miss Wilson, and she said that, and I'm like, y'all really got a relationship. I had no worries, Miss Wilson.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Thank you so much. You really helped her along the way, because Gigi, she was one of those, she wasn't quiet in voice, but she was quiet on the inside.
Right.
So you kind of had to pull things out of her.
Right.
That's how I knew she was going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And to this day, don't let Miss Wilson's name come up, because Gigi's all over it. Listen, if every student had what my Gigi had, then everybody would make it just fine. So that's the high school experience. How in the world, what in the world possessed you and Mr. Wilson to say, we gonna start a school? What?
I know. It was all him. This is exactly how it happened. People really don't believe this. He was reading an article in, I want to say, I don't know, U.S. News or something. Mm-hmm. And it was about charter schools. And it was about a man in Brooklyn who started a charter school. And it basically was like a 1-room or 2-room charter school, something crazy. Mm-hmm. So he read the article and he looked at me. He said, we could start a charter school, right? And I said, yeah, whatever. Like that. That was my response.
Yeah.
And Mr. Wilson is a researcher. So once he gets his mind set on something, he researches it.
Oh, man. It's a wrap.
So it's a wrap. So he found out that there were classes on how to start a charter school at Rutgers University. Mm-hmm. So it must have been like 6 Saturdays that we had to go to Rutgers, and we ended up writing an application, and the application was like 200 and something pages.
Oh, that would have made me say no right there.
Mm-mm. Exactly. Mm-mm. So we wrote the application, with support from the people at Rutgers, and then we were granted the charter. And
stop it. It's not that easy, Mrs. Wilson. Stop.
No, it's not that easy. It was a lot of work. It was a whole lot of work. But it's definitely worth it.
But what made him want to do it? Like, I don't understand who wants to start a school. First of all, you're the first people in my whole life that I've ever known, and I'm so glad to know you personally, that actually own a school.
Yeah. Well, he too worked in education, so he was a guidance counselor as well, believe it or not. So he worked in middle school guidance. And we always talked about education and wanting to help kids and how we can, make an impact. So for him, when he saw the opportunity, he was like, this is a way that I could give back.
Right.
Really kind of shape students.
Right.
The way we would want to shape them.
Right.
So that was really the push behind it.
It's time to talk about Benjamin Banneker. Y'all, let me tell you something. If you have a little one, what grade are y'all doing now? Is it
K-8?
K-8. Are you ever going to do high school?
I don't think so. We had we applied to do high school a while ago, but we weren't, they didn't approve us.
That's because they ain't ready for y'all. That's why. They ain't ready for y'all.
I don't know if we're ready for high school.
Yes, you are. Listen, I was waiting because that's where Audrey was going to go. Right. But Benjamin Banneker Preparatory School, where'd you get the name from?
So we had gone through a couple of different names, and then we had done, looked at different people, and we really wanted to kind of have like the science feel. So we went with Benjamin Banneker.
Right.
He's made the clock, and he also is the architect for DC. So after doing our research, that's the name that we agreed on. So.
And you knew it was going to be a charter school. Did you know that you wanted to call it preparatory? What's with the? It makes me feel important that my baby went to a preparatory school. So.
Well, when we first started playing with the idea, we talked about doing an all boys school.
Thank you for not doing that.
And then after continuing to talk to different people, we said no, we would make it co-ed. And then we wanted it to be, our goal is to prepare our middle school students for high school and college. And
wow.
So that was our focus, to really make sure that we did that. So that was a part of the name.
I love it. I loved everything about Benjamin Banneker. Mr. Austin walked up to me one day and was like, "You're Audrey's mother." And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." He said, "She walks like royalty." And I was like, "Oh, dear."
You're like, "Yes."
Yes. Thank you,
that's
sir. Yes. He was like, "She's above all drama. She doesn't get involved with the nonsense. And she knows who she is." And I was like, "Thank you so much, sir." Like, first of all, Mr. Austin's presence was just like, you want to curtsy or something. But it was the way that your staff carried themselves to make the students want to carry themselves well. And then Mrs. Barbara. Is Miss Barbara still there?
Yes.
Let me tell you something. Audrey act like her and Miss Barbara were college roommates. You couldn't tell Audrey nothing about Miss Barbara. Tell me how you choose your staff.
Actually, I can't take credit for that. That is Mr. Wilson's.
Mr. Wilson, you better go.
Yes, I can't take any credit for that. That is all him. Yes, but he wants people who are serious about helping our kids.
Right.
And, have the ability to connect, and they want the best for them. So.
I love it.
Yeah, he really takes his time and makes sure he, seeks out people that would be good fits.
So I have to ask you this because you still have to know, Miss Wilson, and if I'm out of line, I'm sorry. But how is it that you in the same town, we were in Willingboro, and I pull Audrey from one Willingboro school where most of the teachers are yelling all day, to a school where teachers walk around with grace, like they want to be there? How come Willingboro schools can't pick teachers like y'all?
I really don't answer to that. I can tell you that we do a lot of praying, and we've been blessed.
And he answers.
Yeah,
he answers.
That's the truth.
Yes, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
So I noticed I was driving. I don't even know, Charleston Road, and there's a road when you make the left on Charleston, and there's a new school. Is that school open?
Yes. So what happened is we have two locations. We have the West Hampton campus that's on Bridge Street, and then previously we were at Strayer.
Yes.
Right on 130 near
Acme.
the library.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Strayer closed. Once Strayer closed, we were able to get the old Catholic school on Charleston Road. So we've been there, I think this is year 3.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been there, I think it's our 3rd year now, yes.
That is so... Miss Wilson, I almost had an accident when I was riding down the road. I was like, did that just say... That said Benjamin Banneker. I had no idea. I thought that y'all were still by the library and in West Hampton.
Right.
Let me tell you something. God is blessing my peoples.
Yes, he is.
When y'all got the girls' school, it was one of the greatest days because she was there when you were in Strayer.
Yeah. You
And
remember how small that was?
yes, I do. And when the Lord blessed y'all to open the doors to that brand new building, I was so happy and I was just so proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Just
Thank
so
you.
proud.
So excited. So excited.
I know.
He worked it out once
Yes.
again.
Yes, he did. So you named, and then so who's in the West Hampton and who's in Willingboro?
So West Hampton, we have our kindergartners because our one building is really small for kindergarten.
Yeah.
And then we have grades 6 through 8 at West Hampton. That's our middle school campus. And then we have our elementary students, first through 5th grade, are on the Charleston Road, Willingboro campus.
Wait, you got all of that? That whole building? To Christian, what is it?
It was, I can't even think of the name.
Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous. We need to get it together.
Yes, the old Catholic school, but yes.
Right.
In that entire building, yes.
I didn't realize you had the whole
Yes, the church is still there, though. The church is still there.
Okay, so that is the church. Corpus Christi.
Right.
Corpus Christi, that's it is. Yeah.
But we still have the school part.
The school part, nice.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. Oh my gosh. Now I remember when Audrey was in school that the name of your blocks, you named them after. How do you name your blocks?
So we had students were grouped using Greek letters. So it was alpha, beta.
Got it.
So it was that, and then our classrooms were named after colleges and universities.
That's what it was. The classrooms were named after colleges and universities. And what do you call your students?
Scholars. Reference them as scholars. That's what we want them to be. So that's what we call them, scholars.
I love it. Mrs. Wilson, the people have never spoken to someone that owns a school before. So my guest today is very special, but you are so down to earth and you're so cool. What made you not teach at your school? You're still a counselor in Burlington. Like, why didn't you come be a counselor at the school that you own?
Well, there's a nepotism policy, so I can't work for my husband. So as bad as I wanted to be there, because you remember seeing me morning and afternoon, I was there very often.
Yep.
Yeah, so because of the nepotism policy with the state, I can't work there.
Gotcha. Okay. So that was going to be one of my questions. Like, what's the hardest part about going between the two? And from you being a student counselor, right? Mm-hmm. And you being the owner, what's more difficult, owning the school or being the counselor?
Being a counselor.
Is it?
Well, the thing is, I can't say so. I'm not. Okay, so in our beginning stages, because we were short-staffed and we didn't have people, I was there a lot. So I did the before care program, after-school program.
Right.
I was there probably a good 4 years, running back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
On my lunch break from school, I'd come over and try to help him out, whatever they needed. So,
right.
But then God blessed me to get a promotion at Burlington, and that's been about 3 years.
Nice.
So I don't have the time to go back and forth now, and we're more stable now.
Yeah.
He has the support, he has the help, so I'm not as involved as I used to be.
Okay.
So I help him if he needs some help, but for the most part, thank God, we really have a good amount of staff now.
That's awesome.
Running smoothly, so he pretty much is. I mean, he's always been the one that's the day-to-day there all the time, and I help out where I can. So. And
the best part about it is that you can tell he loves it with every beat of his heart. He absolutely loves it. How important is parents' involvement?
It's so important. So a lot of times, usually in the earlier years, parents have to be involved. They're involved at the elementary level. Middle school, they start to wean off a little bit because kids are more independent. And then high school, they really begin to kind of let their students or their children, go by themselves. But it's just, it's invaluable. I mean, you as a parent have to be involved, connected to the school, connected to teachers, connected to counselors, and really look at us as a resource. It's a partnership.
Right.
We can't do it by ourselves. You can't do it by yourself. So it's really important to make sure you connect with, your child's teachers, and, you have a relationship, what's going on. That helps to prevent any surprises regarding grades. Okay, now all of a sudden report cards come out. 10 weeks have gone by. You haven't had any involvement, any connection. Don't know what the grades look like. And then, sometimes parents get mad at us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, well, you have access to our parent portal, and we've sent correspondence, but we haven't gotten any responses. So it's just really important because, and I'll tell you this as a counselor and as a teacher, of course, I take care of every kid. I'm going to make sure every kid's okay. But if I know that Miss Charlene is going to be the one that's going to call me and ask me something, who do you think I'm going to make sure is going to be okay?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so I do, and I don't want you to think I neglect anybody.
I'm a witness. I'm first-hand witness that you don't neglect nobody's child. I know exactly everybody out there knows exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, but it goes two ways. Don't get me wrong, because we as educators are not important. No, we don't return every phone call, we respond to every email as we should either. But as a parent, you hold us accountable for that. You make sure you have a conversation and say, you know what, I sent an email, nobody got back to me, blah, 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 whatever. So it's a two-way street, and our children need both of us. They need, the school, and they also need their parents. So
I love that. Do you notice the difference between the kids that do have their parents? Is it a huge difference in the ones that don't, like wherever across the board?
Yes, absolutely. And to varying degrees. So let me put it this way. So I might have a parent who might be, I would think, too involved, where they don't give their child enough independence to kind of navigate.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you heard that one. But to navigate, but then, you have those that are just enough involved, they make sure they, okay, I'm checking their grades. And I'll follow up with them. And then you have those that are totally, you can't get in touch with them at all.
Right.
And, it just makes it so much harder for the kid, and it just makes it harder for the school as well, especially if I'm trying to reach out to you to give you some important information. I can't find you.
Right. Contact
information isn't current. So, and I get it. It's a lot going on. Parents, I mean, to be a parent, I don't have any children, but to have...
I didn't know that, Mrs. Wilson.
No, we don't have any children.
Good Lord. I thought you had... I promise I thought you had like 5 of them at least. Thank you for making my children your children. God knew what he was doing. I appreciate you. Yeah.
But, I couldn't imagine, the responsibility, working full time, trying to make sure they're good. And then in the world that we live in on top of it, just making sure they're safe. They're not talking to anybody that they shouldn't be talking to on social media. And people try to get their attention by doing different things. And, it's just really important that we have conversations with our children, that we listen to them. I heard a parent say the other day, she was giving someone advice, and she was saying, just make sure you have conversations with your children, but make sure you listen without judgment, and make sure you let them know, listen, there's no judgment. I just really want to hear what you need to say. And just really checking in with them, because mental illness is serious.
Yeah.
It's serious among our youth. After COVID, I mean, even prior to, but even more so after COVID. So it's just really important that you are in tune, with your child. I think that is so important.
I'm so glad you said that. That was going to be one of my questions, and we're going to go right into it, because I can't imagine on your end how you deal with mental illness. I only have to deal with my kids if they're going through something. You got to deal with everybody's child that's in your realm, if you would, as they go through it. And if that child doesn't have their parent in their corner, you're going to feel it more, because it's your job. I'm doing air quotes, everybody. It's your job to figure out what's wrong with my child. I was at an NAACP event. I forget the name of it at this point, but it was back in February, and there was a doctor speaking. And she said that the number one cause of suicide today between kids ages, I think it was some obscene number, like from 8 to 17, 8 years old to 17 or 19, was suicide. I almost fell out of my seat.
And it's becoming more and more. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it's becoming younger. Like, that's the scary part. So
how does an 8-year-old, what could an 8-year-old be going through to make them want to do something like that?
And a lot of times they don't realize, this is temporary. How I feel right now is temporary. So I always try to tell my kids, it will not always be like this.
Yeah.
I can promise you, it will not always be like this. You will not always feel like
right.
this. You're going through something right now. People go through things, but I need you to know that it will turn around, So, but yeah, there was and I don't even want to talk about it, but it was a young lady in Mount Holly at an elementary school. This is how close to home it was.
Yes.
Who she actually hung herself in the bathroom at the school.
You know what? Someone who lives in Mount Holly told me about that, but it was a child, like 9 years old.
Right, very young, and to think, like you said, where would she even get that from?
Right.
So you have to remember the things that they're watching. So, there's things on TV, there's things on social media. So you have to be on your kids.
Yes.
You have to really be on them and, just have conversations, make sure you know their friends' parents. Like, it's just really, really important.
Right.
To do that.
So, you said it's easier for you to deal with the high school kids. Right now, do you think in 2023, you've seen a lot? You've seen the evolution. You've been through it. Yeah. Right? Now, absolutely. I think about my godmother, who's 93 years old. She's seen a lot. Right, but when you're dealing with who you deal with, you see the different dynamics as the times change, as the generations change. TikTok, Facebook, like you said earlier, we ain't have all that. What's going to help our kids now? We're going to kind of wrap it up and close it up through the eyes of the educator. So tonight we're talking to Miss Stacy Wilson, everybody, who's been doing this for a long time. She's been dealing with our babies for a long time. So I don't know why I just did the head thing. I don't know why I felt like I had to do that for you, Miss Wilson, because I understand, right? But we as parents, sometimes we get in the educator's way. And throughout my experience as a mom, I've been completely blessed that I've not had any bad experiences when it comes to my children, right? But I want you to tell the audience, as parents, because we're talking to moms tonight. Most of my audience will be moms, right? What can I do to help you help my child?
Listen to them. Please listen to them. They have a lot to say. Even if they're not talking to you directly, listen to their conversations. And I'm not saying I want you to spy on them, but you just really need to be aware. And I think, by listening and spend quality time. I know sometimes, my husband will say, can you pick this up from the cleaners? And I'm in my phone, then about 5 minutes later, I'm like, what you say?
Right.
So I'm sure, just as I do it, parents may do it too.
Yeah.
And it might be, on such and such nights, it's you and me. No phones, no nothing. I just need to check in, see how you doing, see where you at. I think that's the best advice I could give.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I know it's simple, but it will go so far. It will go so far.
That is simple, Miss Wilson. It sounds I was expecting you to say something a whole lot harder than that. But as I think about it.
A lot of them just need to know that they're loved. They don't know that they're loved. So, by spending that time, by putting the phone down, by, making sure they have your one-on-one undivided attention, that's priceless to them.
So tell us what the requirement for Benjamin Banneker scholars when they come in the door. What's the first thing they have to do?
Surrender their cell phones for the day.
Did you say it again? What they got to do?
Surrender their cell phones for the day.
Surrender their cell phones for the day. Do you know? Or she had her cell phone. I was like, ain't nobody taking my baby's cell phone. And Miss Barbara. Oh, we absolutely are. I was like, what if my baby got to call me?
They come to the.
They'll be all right.
And call.
You ain't care how tough a parent got. You was giving up that phone.
Right.
Tell us why.
Happened. Right, and because it's such a distraction in the classroom. So they're on TikTok, they're on Facebook. You think they're listening to me explain a math equation on the board? That's not interesting to them. So it's a total distraction. So then we get the parents, oh, you're not taking my child's phone. And then as soon as something happens in the classroom, they're texting their parents. And then the parent is calling the office. So it's like so many distractions that no learning takes place. Right. So, even as I have had parents who say to me, well, you take their phone. No, I'm not taking their phone. Right. That's your job to take their phone. I'm telling you it's a distraction. It's not working. You can show them a lot of times better than you can tell them. And I would, give advice. Okay, maybe take it away for a period of time. I said, but they need to earn it back. Why do you feel like they should just have it? I mean, you pay for it. I don't get it. But it's a huge distraction.
After that happened, I just loved how the structure in the school. We go in and I'm not even sure. I don't remember at this point how it was done, but every phone, Audrey had to put it in a little plastic bag and kind of sealed it closed, and it was in a safe spot. And then they would get their phone back at the end of the day. And I think if every school did, I've seen videos where a girl whooped the teacher's behind because she took her phone.
Right. And then the mom's going to come up and argue about you taking the phone.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, Miss Wilson.
But that's the thing. That's the message that needs to get out. Like, they are so addicted. And parents, I know they have to see it. They are so addicted to their phones. So just like they're addicted at home, they're addicted like that in school. So they can't concentrate. They don't want to concentrate.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not sure how y'all got to the point where y'all at. What made you make the decision? It was a very good decision, and they stick to it. Let me tell you something. If your babies are blessed enough to get chosen to go to Benjamin Banneker, to get accepted to Benjamin Banneker Preparatory School, don't expect them to have their cell phones in the classroom, because it ain't going to happen.
But we will contact you if something happens.
I'm telling you, that to me, that was genius. Mm-hmm. That was a genius idea, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that Audrey got that experience. It really helped her. Audrey was really introverted. She still is, but she came out a little bit. Right. And then Miss Wilson, Audrey's been homeschooled for maybe the last 4 years.
Oh, really?
3 years. 3 or 4, okay. I don't remember. She's been homeschooled. And I can still reach out to you.
Absolutely. And
ask you a question and send you an email, and you'll get right back to me. You are one of a kind. One of a kind. So and I'm telling you, from my community to you, Burlington City says thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I enjoy it. I really do.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have met the wonderful Miss Stacy Wilson. Miss Wilson, I'm just going to ask you to close us out with some good advice as the school year begins. So give us some back to school advice for the moms, the dads, the students, and tell us what else you have going on.
Okay, so I'll give my back to school advice first. be involved, stay connected to the school. That would be my advice for parents. And always encourage your students or your children. Always tell them they can be and do whatever they want to do.
Yes, that's good. Ooh.
Please always tell them that. I don't care what they want to do. I don't care how, out of the box it may seem.
Mm-hmm.
Always encourage them to, whatever you want to go for, shoot for.
Do it. That's right.
So I would definitely encourage you.
That's right. Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm.
Yes, in addition, I do have a hair salon, the Main Studio. That was something else that was birthed.
That's what I was about to say, Mrs. Wilson. How you go from a counselor to opening up a preparatory school to having a whole banging hair salon? How?
So it actually started again out of a dream. I had wanted to open a salon to help my students. So I wanted my female students to have an opportunity to work in cosmetology if that was their choice. So I, really said, I just wanted to do a braid shop, and happened to be walking where the salon was.
Yeah.
And it was empty, and I was said a prayer, and the Lord worked it out.
Wow.
Blessed me with the Main Studio. So I've had a couple of our students actually come in to work as shampoo assistants.
My goodness.
So that it's really rewarding. So it's going well.
How awesome is that? Now, if you're going to say the name of this place, you got to give the address, the phone number. Come on now.
Okay.
This is a main commercial. Go.
The Main Studio is located at 483 Wood Lane Road, Suite 1, West Hampton, New Jersey. Our phone number is 609-531-6430. And you can follow us on Facebook, Main Studio Hair Salon, and also on Instagram.
And it's a full service salon, y'all. Let me tell you something. I got my hair washed, and it was a very special wash too. I don't know what the girl had on her hands, but it was very special. The woman next to me was getting her hair washed. There was the one I was getting my hair braided. It's not just a braiding studio though.
No, it's not. We do all types of hair. We do braids, weaves, perms. We do silk presses.
Yes. There was a young lady getting a silk press. The lady next to me, she was getting, I don't think it was locks. Maybe it was locks that she was getting this. And I was like, Miss Wilson got everything going on around here. Lord. And it is beautiful.
Thank you, my dear.
You are very welcome.
Thank you.
What's your Facebook page again?
Main Studio Hair Salon.
Main Studio Hair Salon. It's almost school time, y'all. You better make your appointments.
Yes.
Everybody, Stacy Wilson. Stacy Wilson. Thank you, Mrs. Wilson.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for thinking of me.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Join me next time right here on the CharlieB Podcast. CharlieB out. Miss Wilson.
Awesome. I have to follow you. You know I know nothing about podcasts.
Miss Wilson, we gonna pray for you, okay? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the show. You can also like my page on Facebook at the CharlieB Podcast. Now, before you get out of the car and go to whatever is next, take a deep breath and remember, this is what you were created for. God gave you a different kind of strength, and whatever it is, you've got this. So again, thanks for tuning in. Really, you didn't have to, but I'm so glad that you did. Join me next time right here on the CharlieB Podcast.